In this video, we'll show you a few methods to make sure that you have a good quality mesh to get accurate results out of your FEA study. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at this mesh. This was created using the defaults, and you can see how we only have one element across the thickness. It's a pretty coarse mesh. The first thing to check is the details, and you'll see the maximum aspect ratio is at 64. We'd prefer to keep that under 50 for critical locations. And the percentage of elements with aspect ratios that are less than 3 should be over 90% if you can. If you want to know the exact locations, we can create mesh quality plots, aspect ratios or Jacobian, and those are created within the folder underneath. So the aspect ratio you can see up near the top has a maximum of 64. The Jacobian, what we want is, we definitely don't want any values less than 1, because that would start getting into self-intersecting geometry, and the maximum should be under 40. In this case, we're good in this one. Another thing to check is the actual stress plots themselves. So if I take a look at say one of these beams here and look at the stress, looking at the stress distribution, the concentrations are quite blotchy, and you can almost make out the actual elements themselves in the stress gradients. Those stresses should be smooth and flow between. So that's a key indicator right there that we don't have a fine enough mesh. So moving on to this study, if we look at our mesh, what you'll see is we do now have that 2 elements across the thickness, which is what we're looking for accurate results on solids. And the way I did that is I took a quick measurement of the thickness of the material, which was 8 millimeters. So I just put the maximum element size a little less and actually put it at 6 millimeters. And by doing that, you'll get those 2 elements across the thickness. And if you take a look at the aspect ratio, we're now well under 50, now at 12. And Jacobian, nothing less than 1, and max under 5. Took a look at the details, you can see the percentage is well over 90%.